Hey everyone, and welcome back to Astrology Prediction English Podcast. I'm Vincent,
I'm Jenny.
and we are ready for another deep dive into the cosmos.
Yeah, are you ready for December's cosmic forecast?
I think so, yeah?
Okay, good.
Let's do it.
All right, so this deep dive, we're focusing on the horoscopes for Aries, Taurus, and Gemini.
All right, so if you were born between March 21st and April 19th,
That's Aries.
April 20th to May 20th,
That's Taurus.
and May 21st to June 20th.
You are a Gemini.
So let's jump right in, huh? What do we got for our Aries friends out there?
Okay, so for Aries this month, it seems like it's going to be all about manifestation,
Okay.
but with an interesting twist.
Interesting twist.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm intrigued already.
Yeah, so it's not just about visualizing what you want. It's about mindfulness. The sources really emphasize that your thoughts and words have extra power this December, especially for Aries.
So like almost speaking things into existence, kind of?
Yeah, in a way, yes.
Okay.
But it's a little more nuanced than that. So negative self-talk or just like dwelling on doubts could actually block the good stuff that the universe has lined up for you.
So you're saying that if an Aries is out there being negative, they could be blocking their own blessings.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay, so how can our Aries listeners harness this energy then? What should they do?
So the sources suggest a few things. First, you can start each morning just by writing down 3 things you're grateful for.
Okay.
It'll help set a positive tone for the day, and it'll help you kind of shift your focus towards abundance.
Yeah, I like that. A little gratitude boost first thing in the morning.
Exactly.
Sets you up for success.
Yeah, and then throughout the day, pay attention to your inner dialogue. When you catch yourself thinking negative thoughts, you got to challenge them.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, is this thought helpful? Is it even true?
Good questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's almost like actively trying to replace these negative thoughts with positive ones.
Exactly. And then don't underestimate the power of affirmations. Repeating positive statements about yourself and your goals can really program your subconscious mind for success.
So it sounds like Aries, mindfulness is your superpower for December.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay.
But now, even with all this positive energy flowing, there's a little heads up for the second week of December.
What's coming up?
Looks like there's a potential for feeling overwhelmed or out of your depth.
Oh.
Maybe you've taken on a little too much, or a project just demands more than expected.
Yeah, that feeling of being in over your head is never really fun.
No. But Aries, you're known for your courage and resilience.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a sign to give up.
Okay.
It's a call to just embrace the learning curve.
Right.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. Delegate tasks or adjust your approach.
So it's not about panicking. It's about adapting.
Exactly. See it as an opportunity to expand your skills and just prove to yourself how capable you truly are.
I like that perspective a lot.
Yeah.
Now, there's one more intriguing prediction for Aries that I wanted to ask about. This involves a potential encounter with someone from the past.
Yes, this stood out to me too.
Yeah.
So the sources suggest there might be an unexpected meeting with an old friend or a past love, someone that maybe you parted ways with on less than ideal terms.
Ooh, that could be awkward.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah.
But try to see this encounter as like a cosmic opportunity, a chance to heal old wounds, maybe gain some closure, or even rekindle a connection.
So approach it with an open mind and an open heart.
Exactly. You never know what surprises the universe has in store for you, and this could be a real turning point leading to forgiveness, understanding, or even a renewed sense of friendship.
Okay, so Aries December sounds like a month of manifestation, resilience, and some unexpected encounters.
It does.
Okay, let's move on to Taurus. What are the cosmic currents bringing their way?
Well, for Taurus, December seems to be about collaboration,
Okay.
wellness,
Mm-hmm.
and finally tackling that personal project you've been putting off.
Ooh, I love that combination.
Yeah.
Let's break it down. Starting with collaboration, what kind of teamwork are we talking about here?
So the sources highlight a plan or project that requires you to work closely with someone.
Okay.
But here's the catch. It's someone you have a history of conflict with.
Oh, so this is a little bit more complex than just normal collaboration.
Yeah, it is. But this person's involvement is crucial to the success of this endeavor.
Okay.
Despite your differences, you need to find a way to make it work.
So how do you navigate that?
Yeah.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It could be if you approach it the wrong way.
Okay.
The key here is open and honest communication,
Yeah.
but with a dose of strategy.
It's a tragedy, okay?
So sources actually suggest establishing clear rules of engagement before you even begin.
I like that. So like setting boundaries and expectations up front.
Exactly.
Okay.
So discuss your goals, define roles and responsibilities, and address any lingering issues from the past.
Don't sweep things under the rug.
Don't, Taurus, that never works.
Yeah.
So it's about being proactive rather than reactive. Approach this collaboration with maturity and a willingness to compromise. And if you can do that, you might be surprised at how much you can accomplish together.
That's great advice. Okay, let's shift gears to wellness. It sounds like December is a big month for Taurus in terms of health and fitness.
It is.
All right.
With Mars, your ruling planet, moving into Capricorn, you might feel this surge of energy and ambition directed towards your physical well-being.
Okay, so for those that are unfamiliar with astrology, what does it mean to have Mars as your ruling planet?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
In astrology, each sign is associated with a ruling planet that influences its energy and expression. And for Taurus, that's Mars,
Okay.
the planet of action, energy, and drive.
Makes sense.
So with Mars in Capricorn, a sign known for discipline and achievement, this transit amplifies those qualities in Taurus, making it the perfect time to focus on health goals.
Okay, perfect. So Taurus, what's the best way to harness this Mars in Capricorn energy?
So the sources suggest seeking expert guidance. This could be a personal trainer who can create a personalized workout plan, a nutritionist to help optimize your diet, or even a yoga instructor to guide you towards mindfulness and stress reduction.
Don't go it alone.
Yeah.
Get some help.
Yeah. And remember, Taurus, consistency is key. With Mars and Capricorn, you have the willpower and stamina to achieve amazing things,
Okay.
but only if you stick with it.
Stick with it. I like it.
Okay.
We've got collaboration. We've got wellness covered. What about that personal project Taurus has been putting on?
Ah, yes. This is interesting. So the sources suggest that you've been revisiting a creative endeavor on and off, but fear of failure or self-doubt keeps holding you back.
Yeah, I think we can all relate to that feeling a little bit,
Yeah, for sure.
especially when it comes to creative projects.
Yeah,
It's hard to put yourself out there.
absolutely. But December is the month to break free from those limitations, Taurus. With Mars and Capricorn bolstering your determination and Saturn, the planet of discipline, also influencing your sign, you have this incredible cosmic support system pushing you towards completion.
Okay, so how can Taurus overcome this fear and finally make progress? What should they do?
This month, it's all about shifting your mindset from what if I fail to what if I succeed.
Right.
Focus on taking small, manageable steps each day.
Yeah,
Don't get overwhelmed by the big picture. Just concentrate on the task at hand.
I like that.
Yeah, and celebrate each milestone, no matter how small.
Breaking it down, focusing on those small wins.
Exactly.
I love that advice.
And remember, Taurus, there's no such thing as perfection.
True.
Embrace the imperfections, learn from your mistakes, and just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
This project has the potential to bring you immense satisfaction and even open doors to new opportunities. Don't let fear rob you of that.
Yeah, that's great advice. Yeah. Okay, now let's shift our focus to Gemini.
Okay.
What's in store for them this December?
Well, Gemini, prepare for a month of adaptability.
Yeah.
Social shifts and some potentially crucial conversations.
Oh.
Things could get interesting.
Intriguing. So what do these social shifts entail? Are we talking any drama on the horizon?
It seems like there might be some tension brewing within your social circle.
Okay.
And while you're not directly involved in the conflict, you could get caught in the crossfire.
So it's not their drama, but it still impacts their social life.
Right. It might create like a tense or awkward atmosphere within the group, forcing you to navigate some delicate situations.
Okay, so what's the best approach for Gemini in this situation then?
The sources suggest a strategic retreat.
Ooh.
You don't need to completely isolate yourself,
Okay.
but taking a temporary step back from the drama can allow things to cool down and just give you the space to assess the situation objectively.
So a little bit of distance provides clarity.
Exactly.
Right.
Use this time to focus on your own priorities, reconnect with yourself, and recharge your energy.
Okay.
Once the dust settles, you can re-engage from a place of calm and understanding.
All right, that makes sense. Now, what about those crucial conversations? Who are those with?
So the sources point to a potentially challenging dialogue initiated by either a romantic partner or a close family member.
Okay.
The topic might be something sensitive or even taboo, something that's been avoided in the past.
Ooh. Okay, that sounds like it could get a little intense. What's the key to navigating this conversation successfully then?
First and foremost, Gemini, Go in with a mindset of active listening.
Okay.
Really try to understand where the other person is coming from, even if their perspective differs from yours.
So empathy is crucial in this situation.
Absolutely. It's about putting yourself in their shoes, validating their feelings, and creating a safe space for open and honest dialogue.
Yeah.
This isn't the time for defensiveness or shutting down,
Right.
but rather for understanding and connection.
And avoid making assumptions or jumping to conclusions.
Exactly.
And-
Let the other person fully express themselves before you respond. Ask clarifying questions just to ensure you understand their perspective. Remember, communication is a two-way street.
This is great advice for anyone, really, not just Geminis.
Absolutely clear and compassionate communication is essential in any relationship.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay.
Okay, now there's one more relationship that the sources highlight for Gemini this month.
Okay.
And it sounds like it requires a bit of careful navigation. Tell us about it.
It seems you'll be dealing with someone known for their short temper.
Oh.
This could be a colleague, a friend, or even a family member.
Okay.
And while you might usually be quick-witted and sharp-tongued yourself,
Yeah.
this situation calls for a more diplomatic approach.
So choose your words carefully.
Precisely, think before you speak. Avoid anything that could be perceived as critical or inflammatory.
Okay.
Remember, this person is prone to negativity and may react defensively.
So a gentler approach is needed.
Exactly. It's about finding that delicate balance between expressing yourself honestly
Yeah.
and doing so in a way that doesn't escalate the situation. Focus on finding common ground, validating their feelings, and seeking a resolution that works for both of you.
So it's all about diplomacy and tact.
Precisely, if you can manage this relationship with care and understanding, you can actually strengthen the bond and avoid unnecessary conflict.
Great advice. Wow. We've already covered so much ground
I know.
with Aries, Taurus, and Gemini.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive into December 2024's cosmic forecast,
Yes.
where we'll explore even more insights and guidance.
Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to Astrology Prediction English Podcast. You're in the middle of our deep dive into December's astrological forecasts.
We're picking up right where we left off, exploring the potential for some intense conversations for our Gemini friends this December.
That's right. We were talking about a potentially challenging conversation likely initiated by a romantic partner or close family member.
And the topic might be something sensitive or maybe even a bit taboo, something that's been swept under the rug for a while.
Precisely the kind of conversation that might make you want to avoid it altogether.
Yeah.
But the stars suggest that facing it head on is the path to growth this month.
So no running away at this time, Gemini.
Nope.
What's the best way to approach this conversation then?
Well, one of the sources offered a fascinating insight. It said that instead of going into the conversation with a goal of like winning or proving your point,
Right.
try to shift your focus to simply understanding.
That's a powerful shift in perspective.
It is.
It takes the pressure off of needing to be right.
Exactly. And it opens up space for genuine connection.
Yeah.
So Gemini, remember, active listening is your superpower here. Really try to see the situation from the other person's point of view, even if it's difficult.
That's such a valuable skill, not just for this specific situation, but for life in general.
Absolutely.
All right.
Now, aside from active listening, the sources emphasize the importance of staying grounded in the present moment.
Okay.
These types of conversations can easily trigger old wounds or insecurities.
So it's about staying calm and present, even if things get heated.
Exactly. If you feel yourself getting triggered, take a deep breath and remind yourself to stay focused on the here and now.
Okay.
Don't let past hurts or future anxieties hijack the conversation.
Great advice. Okay, so we've talked about active listening. We've talked about staying present. Anything else Gemini should keep in mind as they're heading into this conversation?
Yes, this is important. Remember that communication is a two-way street.
Okay.
It's not just about listening to the other person, but also about clearly and respectfully expressing your own thoughts and feelings.
So finding that balance between listening and sharing.
Exactly. And when you do share your perspective, try to use I statements rather than you statements.
Okay.
For example, instead of saying, you always do this,
Right.
you might say, I feel hurt when this happens.
That's a great communication tip. It helps to avoid blaming or attacking the other person.
Exactly. It's about owning your experience and expressing your needs in a way that invites understanding rather than defensiveness.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so helpful. Now, what about that other relationship that the sources mentioned?
Right.
The one with the short-tempered individual.
Yes.
Any more insights on that?
Yes. This one stood out to me because it requires a slightly different approach.
Okay.
The key here is to choose your battles wisely.
Ooh, that's interesting. Explain that a little bit more.
Well, with someone who's prone to negativity or anger, it's important to discern which issues are worth addressing and which ones are better left alone.
Okay.
Not every disagreement needs to be a debate.
So it's about picking your fights strategically.
Exactly. Ask yourself, is this issue truly important to me? Or am I just reacting to their energy?
Yeah.
Sometimes choosing to let go of minor annoyances can actually lead to greater peace and harmony.
That's a great point. It's about conserving your energy and focusing on what truly matters.
Precisely. Now, if there is an issue that needs to be addressed, the sources suggest approaching it with a combination of assertiveness and compassion.
That sounds like a tricky balance.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Well, assertiveness is about standing up for yourself and expressing your needs clearly and directly.
Mm.
But compassion is about acknowledging the other person's feelings and perspective, even if you don't agree with them.
So it's not about attacking. It's about communicating your boundaries, but with kindness.
Exactly. For example, you might say, I understand that you're feeling frustrated,
Okay.
but I need you to speak to me respectfully. I'm happy to listen to your concerns, but I won't tolerate being yelled at.
That's a great example. It's
What?
about being firm but fair.
Exactly. And remember, Gemini, sometimes the best way to deal with a short-tempered individual is to simply disengage.
Okay.
If you sense the conversation is escalating, it's okay to step away and revisit it later when things have cooled down.
So knowing when to walk away is a valuable skill in this situation.
Absolutely. It's about protecting your own energy and not getting sucked into their negativity.
That's great advice. Okay, so we've talked about these intense conversations. We've talked about managing that relationship with a short-tempered person. Before we move on from Gemini, is there anything else the stars have in store for them this December?
Yes. Actually, one of the sources highlighted an unexpected change of plans for Gemini this month.
Right.
Remember that plan you've been working on since November?
Oh, right. What about it?
Well, it seems like there might be a sudden shift, a curveball thrown your way that requires you to adapt and adjust.
Oh, that doesn't sound too fun.
It might feel a bit unsettling at first, but remember, Gemini, you are the master of adaptability.
Right.
You thrive in situations that require quick thinking and flexibility.
So it's about embracing the unexpected
Right.
and trusting in your ability to handle whatever comes your way.
Exactly. Don't resist the change, Gemini.
Okay.
See it as an opportunity to flex your creative problem-solving skills and explore new possibilities.
I like that.
You might even discover a better path forward than the one you originally envisioned.
That's a great way to look at it. Turn that challenge into an opportunity.
Precisely. Now, before we move on to the final segment of our deep dive, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about the power of positive thinking for Aries?
Yes, the whole mindfulness and manifestation connection.
And well, this applies to Taurus and Gemini as well.
Okay.
The stars are urging all three signs to cultivate an optimistic outlook this December. It's about focusing on solutions rather than problems, believing in your own abilities, and trusting that the universe has your back.
So a little bit of positive self-talk goes a long way.
It really does. It's about shifting your mindset from one of doubt and fear to one of confidence and possibility.
I love that. A powerful message for all of us, regardless of our zodiac sign.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that brings us to the end of part 2 of our December horoscope deep dive.
All right.
Join us for part 3, where we'll explore some practical tips for staying positive during the holiday season, plus a few final words of wisdom from the stars.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to Astrology Picture in English podcast. We're wrapping up our December 2024 horoscope deep dive with a focus on Aries, Taurus, and Gemini.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey through the stars, hasn't it?
It really has. We've explored mindfulness and manifestation for Aries, creative breakthroughs for Taurus, and some intense conversations on the horizon for Gemini. But before we sign off, I wanted to circle back to a theme that's been woven throughout our discussion.
Okay.
The importance of positivity.
Yes, this stood out to me as well. All of the sources emphasize the power of cultivating an optimistic outlook, especially as we head into the holiday season.
Yeah, it's true. The holidays can be a mixed bag for a lot of people, you know?
Yeah,
Joy and celebration, but also stress and pressure.
absolutely. Expectations run high, to-do lists are a mile long, and family dynamics can sometimes be challenging.
So how can our listeners navigate this time of year with grace and positivity? What are some practical tips they can implement?
One of the sources suggested something simple but powerful gratitude practice.
Okay.
Each day, take a few minutes to reflect on the things you're thankful for, big or small. Write them down, say them out loud, or just simply contemplate them in your heart.
Yeah, I love that a little daily dose of gratitude can really shift your perspective.
It really can. Another tip I find helpful is to be mindful of your energy and set healthy boundaries.
Okay.
It's okay to say no to commitments that drain you or to step away from situations that feel overwhelming.
That's so important, especially during a season that's often filled with social obligations.
Exactly. Prioritize your well-being and don't be afraid to protect your energy. Now, what about when those negative thoughts start creeping in? We all experience them,
Yeah,
but how can we combat them effectively?
that's a great question.
Yeah.
Do you have any strategies that you personally use?
One technique that's been incredibly helpful for me is reframing.
Okay.
When you catch yourself thinking a negative thought, try to reframe it in a more positive light, for example. Instead of thinking, I'm so stressed about all the holiday shopping,
Yeah.
try shifting it to, I'm grateful for the opportunity to find thoughtful gifts for my loved ones.
That's a subtle but powerful shift in perspective.
It is. It's about consciously choosing to focus on the good, even when things feel challenging. And sometimes that means challenging those negative thoughts directly.
Right, like we talked about earlier, asking yourself, is this thought helpful? Is it even true?
Exactly. Often our negative thoughts are based on fear or assumptions that aren't actually rooted in reality. Questioning them helps to break their hold over us.
Okay.
Now, there's one more tip I want to share that's especially relevant for Aries and their potential for feeling overwhelmed this month.
Yes, let's talk about that. What can they do when that feeling arises?
Remember what the sources said about embracing the learning curve.
Right.
Sometimes it's okay to not have all the answers, to admit you need help, and to ask for support.
Don't try to go it alone.
Exactly. Reach out to your network, whether it's friends, family, or professional mentors. Remember, we all face challenges, and asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness.
Those are all such great reminders. Thank you for sharing those insights.
My pleasure. It's amazing how astrology can provide such practical guidance for navigating life's ups and downs,
Yeah.
especially during a busy season like December.
Yeah, speaking of guidance as we wrap up, I'd love to hear your final thoughts for our listeners as they head into December.
Okay.
What's the one key takeaway you want them to remember?
Embrace the unexpected.
Yeah.
December is a month of potential change and transformation for all three signs. While that can be daunting, it's also an opportunity for growth.
So stay flexible, adaptable, and open to new possibilities.
Exactly. And remember, you have the strength and resilience to navigate whatever comes your way. Trust in yourself, lean on your support system, and most importantly, stay positive.
Beautiful words to end on. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into December's astrological predictions.
It's been a pleasure as always.
And to all of our listeners out there, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you being here. Remember to subscribe to our channel for more insightful horoscopes, astrological discussions.
We'll be back next month with a brand new deep dive into the stars.
Until then, stay curious, stay connected, and keep looking up at the stars.
Goodbye, everyone.
See you next time.